Hey, good morning. Can everybody hear me? Woo! Have we had our coffee yet? See, little Angel said she thinks she drank too much coffee. This is going to be a hit or miss because I seriously just realized I had the time to do this and I'm struggling with signal. We're way on the other side of Dallas, so just bear with me. Fun to Ski said, oh my, we are early. We are. Come on, early birds. We need to do more early shows. I have more energy first thing in the morning. Do it. Now, you try talking to me 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night, you're going to get flatline Brooks. Okay? You're getting flatline Brooks. You're getting, In the morning, brains are popping. Brains are popping. Jay, the Italian cookie? Girl, I've been missing you. Man. Teresa said, cool, you trucking, Brooks? Yes, so is OJ. Let me show you. Let's see if this works. Again, dealing with weak signal.
Well, we're in the truck. It's a nice truck, too. We've got lots of room, and OJ has found his spot. He is way up at the top, like almost to the ceiling. Now we just got to make sure he doesn't jump down on one of us. Kitty, say hi to everybody. Say you like your vacation. Daddy's so good for my kitty.
Yes, he's having so much fun. Now he's way up on the other side, just having a blast. Yes. Did that video come through okay? You saw it? Okay. All right. Greg's like sitting like seriously like 5 feet away from me. All right, let's get to it. Let's tell everybody TGIF. Good morning. All right, we are here. Fun to Ski said, yes, the videos come through. Tanya, Delaware, member for 9 months. Hello, everyone. Well, good morning to you. Boy, a lot of stuff's been going on YouTube this week. Kind of half dozen in one hand for your old buddy Brooks and a dozen in the other. I have every excuse in the world this week to lay low. But let me tell you what, this case is really... along with a lot of others, not just this one, really been pissing me off. Because what could have gone wrong, okay? You have a couple of unstable adults that decide to blend a family when they've got other things going on. You see, Anna's dad, calling old boy from here on, okay? Anna's dad. Anna is the victim, murdered at sea, murdered on this cruise ship. Suspect is her obsessed with her stepbrother, okay? He's got his own issues going on with her mom, all right? They are fighting, they are frolicking, it is public, it is messy, okay? It'll come up here in a second. Like I said, there's her mom who went public not long ago talking about... she had to find out through TikTok, internet, whatever, that her daughter was on a cruise and that her daughter died on the cruise. It is a messed up situation. Then we have dad's girlfriend / wife. Not sure if dad and what will be known going forward as stepmom, if they were truly married or not. At this point, I don't know. They should probably just stay away from each other, okay? She's got a very ugly custody battle going on with her ex, and it mainly revolves around the obsessed stepbrother. Well, she was in the know that the stepbrother was under investigation and suspicion by the FBI. She files this court hearing the other day, this court docket. Here it is. Oh, I had it up. Okay. An extremely sensitive and severe circumstance has arisen wherein the respondent/mother will not be able to testify at the hearing at this time. Currently, there is an investigation being conducted by the FBI arising out of the sudden death of 18-year-old Anna Kempner, who was found deceased on November 9th on a Carnival cruise. Anna Kempner, the deceased, is the daughter of the respondent's paramour and the respondent, and paramour, not husband, paramour. I don't think I've ever called Greg my paramour. I've called him everything else in the book, but never a paramour. I've got to figure out how to put that in a sentence. Okay, paramour, not husband. Paramour and the respondent and the minor children of this instant action were all on the cruise ship together. Could go wrong? What on earth? What on earth? All right, this is from the New York Post. No, is it? Yep, New York Post, U.S. News. Anna Kempner's brother unknowingly slept feet away from her dead body. The younger brother of the slain Florida teenager, Anna Kempner, unknowingly went to sleep just feet away from his dead sister after the boy noticed she wasn't in their cruise cabin, but assumed she had gotten up to spend time with their parents, so to say. I'll just say the adults. According to a chilling new report, Anna, age 18, had been sharing the Carnival cruise ship cabin with her brother, 14, and her 16-year-old stepbrother, who is now a suspect in her death. Now, you're going to look at these different news reports, and the children that are on the boat, it switches up a lot. I've heard a 9-year-old daughter of the stepmoms. I'm hearing the 14-year-old boy is the stepmoms. I don't know who is whose. I do know that Anna was murdered and that stepmom's 16-year-old son is the suspect via the FBI. On November 6th, the night she died, Anna had left dinner early and gone back to her cabin after complaining of feeling unwell. There she is. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. She was found crammed under her bed, naked, wrapped up, pummeled, bludgeoned, you name it, and had a bunch of life preservers and stuff around her. She was found by the cleaning crew. All right? This is gross. This is disgusting. Her two siblings headed back to the room later that evening where her younger brother changed his clothes and left again to go take pictures of the Carnival horizon as it continued its 6-day Caribbean voyage. When the teen came back, he noticed Anna wasn't in bed, but he assumed she'd gone out. The young boy thought nothing of it and went to sleep. Okay, that makes sense. However, Anna was last seen on the ship's surveillance footage returning to her room and wasn't spotted ever leaving that room again. The next day, when his sister still hadn't returned, the family from Titusville, Florida, realized she was missing. Her father, Christopher Kempner, searched the $800 million ship for any sign of his daughter. A medical emergency was reportedly announced over the PA system, according to the source. Right. It says Anna's step-siblings include her 16-year-old stepbrother, who was a suspect in her death, and then there's obviously a little girl. So maybe the 14-year-old is her biological sibling. I'm just going to have to assume that for now. A cleaning crew discovered Anna's body crammed under the bed, which was next to the bunk beds her brothers were sharing. Her body was reportedly wrapped in a blanket. It comes as shocking court filings revealed that Anna's stepbrother is the suspect in her death and is now living with a relative of his mother. It's a little more complicated with that. He's not quite tucked away with a relative right now. The more came out about that yesterday. We will get to it in a second. I just spilled OJ's water. Actually felt kind of good on my feet. Act right, bitches. Good morning. The 16-year-old did all that and framed her under a bed. Those cabins are so small. Great question. That's a lot of rage. And this is no secret to anybody. He was obsessed with her. What is going on with her dad and her call it stepmom? Why would they put those two in a cabin together? Could they not get off of each other's junk long enough to keep the kids safe? Like adult woman bunk with the girls, or the girl. Adult man bunk with the boys. Come on. They've already seen each other naked. Is it better to see each other naked on the ocean? This is stupid. Stupid ass behavior. I can't believe it. Her ex-boyfriend knew about it. Her ex-boyfriend's father made some confrontations saying there is something wrong with that dude. There is something wrong with him. But the mom was so obsessed with this custody fight over this little bastard that she wasn't going to do nothing about it. Why would you put a 16-year-old and an 18-year-old step siblings, not even, I'm going to say soon to be step siblings, in the same room together? Those cabins are about the size of the inside of this truck I'm in right now. All right, let's go back to the beginning, how this all started. And if my Wi-Fi here in Dallas peters out, well, blame it on the Wi-Fi gods. It's not me.
At 6, mystery at sea. New details today about the teenager from Titusville who was found dead on a cruise ship.
The FBI is still investigating, but here's what we know so far. The medical examiner in Miami-Dade County lists Anna Kepner's time of death as 11:17 a.m. on Friday, November 7th. The Carnival Horizon stopped at Port Miami near...
Let's think about that. The medical examiner. All right, this is from Fox Local in, I believe, Orlando. Might be Miami. Either way, I'm not the news reporter here. 11:17 a.m. on November 7th is what they're saying. Now, this is details of the death investigation. But she went back to the room the night before. Does that mean she laid under that bed and suffered until her little body finally gave out? Is that what we're led to believe? Okay, it's grotesque.
24 hours later on Saturday morning. The big question still remains, how did Anna die?
And Anna's family is not alone as they wait for answers. Fox 35's Esther Bauer joins us live on that story tonight. So Esther, you're hearing exclusively from a woman whose daughter died on board a cruise ship 2 decades ago, and she says she still doesn't know what happened there.
John, Jamie Barnett said she had no idea how hard it would be to get information.
Well, I imagine it is hard because the FBI has to fly out or wait for you at the dock to investigate it. Now, this lady's turmoil, which is horrible, isn't really comparable to what happened to Anna. Because in my humble opinion, to stay out of a slander lawsuit, again, IMHO, this was 100% preventable. Had some adult in that home taken their eyes off of what's between their legs and thought about the kids in their custody.
From both the cruise line and the FBI after her daughter died back in 2005 while on a cruise ship. Just like in Anna's case we're seeing right now, the FBI got involved immediately. Jamie says this family is going to have to fight for the truth to come out. Today marks 1 week since this Titusville teen died on a cruise ship. The Miami medical examiner just releasing her time of death, 11:17 in the morning, while she was sailing on the Carnival Horizon.
It's brutal, and I just can't get them out of my head.
Jamie Barnett hasn't stopped thinking about the Kepners because she shares their grief. Her daughter Ashley also died on a Carnival cruise.
I know what hurdles this family is going to.
Yeah, lady, I imagine it's hell. Or take the cruise money, cancel, and get that boy some help. Wow. Fun to ski. Anna's stomach contains the breakfast that would have had better timelines, in my opinion. Okay, so clear this up for me. Did she say she didn't feel well at the breakfast table or at dinner the night before? Like I said, I'm getting conflicting stories. If it was dinner the night before, she goes to her cabin, then stepbrother, psycho, 16 years old, goes with her. Then the other one changes clothes, goes out to the dock, comes back, says she's not there, thought she got back out to go see the adults and have some more fun. Didn't think anything more about it, but they said the next morning they realized she was missing. The next morning. I have not heard any mention of they had breakfast together. I keep hearing it night before. That would be very important to know. Hey, Connie.
Have to jump through.
Jamie says investigating cruise deaths are extremely complicated.
Nobody realizes the difference that a victim or the victim's families of someone who is the victim of a crime or unusual or suspicious circumstances at sea goes through as versus what someone on land would have to deal with.
Jamie says the ocean isn't regulated.
You know, it's almost lawless territory on the high seas.
And the only enforcement on the high seas is cruise ship security.
There's no independent police on a cruise ship that's going to investigate thoroughly.
Jamie also struggled to get investigators to tell her anything about what happened to Ashley.
Every time I would talk to the FBI, the standard comment was, "Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Barnett, we can't comment on that. That would jeopardize the integrity of the investigation."
Do you think we're ever going to know what happened to this teen?
Unless people like you keep doing what you're doing by bringing the story to light, that could very well be the scenario.
Anna's family is getting ready to lay her to rest and asking everyone to remember Anna with laughter, color, sunshine, and love.
And they did have a ceremony for her. And that in itself was messy because they tried to keep her own mother away. I read in a post that her mom snuck in wearing a disguise. What? And yes, Kat, you're right. If something happens on a cruise ship, it's international water, and then it's a federal investigation. The FBI is investigating this. It's under the assumption right now that they are just going through all the security video, forensics from the room, waiting on some additional information from the medical examiner, and if you want some breaking news, anybody want some breaking news? How about I do some breaking news music for you? I know you love the breaking news. Woo! Breaking news. The third party is a psychiatric hospital. Okay? The obsessed stepbrother is receiving psychiatric therapy right now. Too little, too late. Okay? Yes, they're going to play that card. And it might, I don't know, with the feds involved and Florida being the jurisdiction where they are going to be having to go through all of this, don't know if it's going to fly because the only thing they have going for him is the psych center, the ongoing custody battle, and him being 16. I don't think it's going to fly. That's just me being hopeful today.
Her obituary as they wait for answers on what happened to Anna.
And my heart goes out to them like no other parents would.
And Anna's celebration of life ceremony is set for November 20th. The family is still asking people to continue covering her vehicle, covering her car with flowers that is still parked at Temple Christian instead of bringing those flowers to the service. We again reached out to the FBI asking for any new updates they could share with us in this investigation. And again, they told us there were no new updates. Reporting live in Brevard County, Esther Bauer, Fox.
Late to the party, Fox 35. FBI doesn't give updates on shit. Forget it. And yeah, I agree on these cruise ships. They need to at least have a U.S. Marshal on there, okay? Like they on airplanes. They need to have somebody to get cracking on a crime, because some of those Alaskan cruisins, those Alaskan cruisins, listen to me, they'll be out not just 4 or 5 days. I mean, they'll be out for weeks, you know? So if something bad goes down, you know, they always say the first 48. Come on now. Come on. Of course, it didn't take long for Beigeville to jump on this.
Knowing that Anna's body was stuffed under her own bed, just feet away from him. She was covered in blankets and life jackets. A cleaning worker made the awful discovery the following morning. Joining me now with much more on all of this is Josh Boswell. He's a senior reporter for the dailymail.com. Josh, you know, I keep wondering, it's such a mystery as to how this young girl died and what the condition of her body was when it was discovered by the cleaning crew. Do we have any information at all on how she died, cause of death, or the manner in which she was discovered?
No, that is one part of this that remains a real.
Am I being too mean when I say that I really don't have a lot of sympathy for any of these damn parents? Not yet. Why? But not enough information is out. They didn't check under the bed. Hell, according to Candace Wells, even she checked under a mattress that was laying on a concrete floor. We know that's shit that didn't happen, but still, at least she was smart enough to say it. She was stuffed under the bed. They're checking other cabins and stuff like that. They didn't think to look in her own room? Nobody? Come on.
Mystery, and
there's a lot of speculation that stepmom jumped right in the middle of this and became Chris, who's her paramour, became his rock to lean on and was, no pun intended, steering the ship. So she probably said, we've checked the room, we've got to check everything else. Or did they plan to take her? Did they plan to smuggle her out onto the deck and throw her overboard? What was the end result to this, if it truly was a cover-up by the stepmom?
You know, it's worth pointing out that the FBI has not declared that this is a murder. And they haven't said that she was killed. You know, her body was found. She was found dead. We don't know exactly she died, and the coroner has not released any details about the cause of death yet.
Then just, you know, speaking of this surveillance video and the patterns of who walked in that room and when, and who walked out of that room, do we know if Anna died in that room?
So that's what we can surmise, because what we've learned, and my colleague Ben Ashford on my team at Daily Mail has done some fantastic reporting on this. He got from sources close to the family and a source who has been briefed on the investigation that there is CCTV footage that it shows Anna going back into that room and never coming out again. And then her body was discovered. So we can deduce from that that she died in that room.
Okay, I just wish somebody would give me the time. Did she leave the dinner table or the breakfast table? Because I don't think the medical examiner is confused about the time of death. And Fundeski is right. A lot of the times they do it by the digestion of the stomach. All right? Too many different reports out there. It'll be out, okay? But no, they have definitively said she went into her room and she never came back out. So yeah, she was killed in the room. And like Kat said, of course it's murder. She didn't strip herself naked, beat herself to death, wrap herself in a blanket, crawl under the bed, stuff herself under the bed, by the way, because at her age, her height, her weight, and no, she's a little thing. It was like she was stuffed under there. And then put life preservers all around her. Yeah, okay. The cleaning crew Then M sure knew that they didn't. I'm at a loss for words. It's a rarity.
We've got the biological brother and then the stepbrother coming into the room. But there is also another very disturbing allegation. I want to stress it's just an allegation at this point. But again, from that ex-boyfriend, he was speaking after the memorial service that was held this evening in Titusville, Florida, her hometown. And he was saying that he had spoken to the younger brother, the biological brother, after all this had happened. And what that 14-year-old had told him was that he had heard shouting, screaming, what sounded like furniture being thrown around. He tried to get back into the room and the stepbrother blocked his way.
He would have killed him too. Now, the internet does what the internet does. This just came out like 2 hours ago on Beige-Field. Unless it's been reported somewhere else, I've been a little out of pocket. He heard what was going on. I can't say anything about any of the other cabins because they could have been doing the booze cruise in the pool, taking pictures, gambling at the spa. I don't know. No idea. So get ready. The internet's going to start dragging the 14-year-old. All right. Had he broken that door, he probably would have been lost at sea as well.
And told him to leave. So that's an extra development here that kind of adds a nuance to this, that there was perhaps some conflict going on.
Okay, yeah, there's tons of conflict. Tons of conflict. So he hears this ruckus. He had already been to the room and thought that she was out doing her own thing. If I'm reading the timeline correctly, he's even told by the stepbrother to go away. Hey, pretty open and shut.
What sounded like furniture being thrown around, he tried to get back into the room and the stepbrother blocked his way and told him to leave. So that's an extra development here that kind of adds a nuance to this, that there was perhaps some conflict going on there. But again, this has not been verified, and this is just the ex-boyfriend saying what he was told, allegedly, by the younger biological brother.
So if we're to believe what boyfriend says he was told by this younger biological brother, this confrontation, the yelling, the screaming, and the blocking of not being able to get back into his room, this happened right prior to the death, or days before, or what was the timeline of that confrontation?
The timeline for this, according to that ex-boyfriend, Josh Tew, that was the night that she went into the cabin and never emerged. What we have from the coroner in Miami is the date of death being declared at 11 a.m. the next morning. But that doesn't seem to be when she actually died. It seems like she may have died at some point during that night of November 6th. She certainly didn't show up for breakfast the next morning, November 7th. That's when the family was alerted to her being missing and being wrong. But also this younger biological brother, 14-year-old, was saying that he never saw her. When he came back to the room, he didn't see her. He went to bed and got up and she still wasn't there. So we don't know exactly when she died. We don't know exactly when her body ended up underneath her own bed, wrapped in this blanket. But we know that it's in the time frame of between when she left in the evening,
naked and unrecognizable,
for dinner. She left dinner early from the rest of the family on November 6th. And at some point later that evening, when the younger brother, if we are to go on his reported testimony to what he's telling other family members, what he's allegedly told the ex-boyfriend, sometime later that evening. That's what we're piecing together right now.
And important to note that this is the FBI handling this, not the Miami police, because it was out on, the open seas and international waters, and that's why it may be more difficult to get this information. I'll just ask this last question. I'm pretty sure you don't have the answer, as most of us don't. Do we know if toxicology is being performed on Anna's body and if there's going to be any results announced anytime soon?
We don't have any information confirming that, but I think one can assume that the investigators on this case are going to try every method they can to find out what happened to her. It may be that there's something more obvious, something physical on the body that would help determine the cause of death. But we don't know that right now. And if I'm an investigator on this case, I would want to pursue every avenue.
Yeah, unless there's something so incredibly obvious about the condition that her body was found in. Josh Boswell, thank you so much for this. I hope you'll come back as we continue to try to figure this mystery out. So appreciate it.
I would love to. Thank you.
Well, I mean, is it really a whodunit? I can't believe her own daddy wasn't ripping that room apart fiber by fiber. Did they not notice when they went to the room that it looked like some sort of altercation had happened there? I mean, really? Okay, so they're talking about the ex-boyfriend. Ooh, we have a request from the chat. Caller 1, Act Right Bitches, said, Brooks, you have to follow this one. Hoo-hoo, don't have to tell Brooks twice. Brooks has got so many that I have to follow again. I'm losing track of what I got to follow. I don't know what to do. Thank goodness for all of you. Get that. I'm in. All right, so the ex-boyfriend. Let's see if I can get this up here. His dad said, I'm reaching out to you because my son dated Anna for almost a year until June. And her stepbrother, Timothy, was always going into Anna's room in the middle of the night, like 3 a.m., while my son and her were in FaceTime together. And she fell asleep once, and my son saw him and told him to get the hell away from her when he saw him on the FaceTime call while she was asleep. He did tell her parents about it. I just wanted to let you know. I am sorry you are all going through this, and I am devastated. And I also spent time with Anna, and he thought a lot of her. Okay, lots of stuff's coming up, and they're wanting to talk to the stepmom. What's going on? What's up? Did you notice what was going on around you? We're getting a lot of tips, I will say. I didn't, people are real sensitive about the tip and lead conversation. I'll just say combos they're having with the FBI. She is pleading the Fifth Amendment. She isn't going to talk in this custody battle anymore. Well, what's there to talk about when he's in a psych ward and is probably looking at a long, long time in jail? Okay? Here is the boyfriend's full interview, and I'm going to try not to stop it too often.
So a few minutes ago, I just shared a recap of what Anna Kepner's ex-boyfriend had to say about her death and about the inappropriate relationship that her stepbrother was trying to foster with her. If you guys missed that, you can click that comment right there and it'll take you right to that video. Right now, though, I am going to play the entire interview that he gave at her celebration of life. Take a listen.
Your name is Josh, too. Spell your last name.
T-E-W.
All right. And how old are you?
15.
15. And how did you meet Anna?
Through a past relationship last year.
And how did you actually meet with her? In school?
At school.
At school. What type of person was she?
She was a great woman, I met her at school.
And the circumstance behind her death, you find them to be suspicious? And if so, tell me why.
It was suspicious because I knew that the brother did it, and yeah.
How do you know that?
Because of the past things that happened with him, like I was saying.
Which were what?
About the FaceTime and stuff.
What's the FaceTime?
Whenever I was on FaceTime with her, and when I was on FaceTime with her, and she was laying down, the brother tried to go on top of her, and
you saw that.
Yeah.
And then, how did she react to it?
They had people tell them. They had the boyfriend who'd been dating her for a year say, hey, look, I was FaceTiming with her. She dozed off. He's still playing a game or thinking it's funny to wake her up. I don't know, watching her sleep, whatever kids do on the FaceTime. I hate to even think about it. And the stepbrother comes into her room, which I would think is kind of sacred territory when you're the girl in the house, the teenage girl. Good morning, Pat K. And he's telling him, get the hell away from her. Really? What is wrong with this dad? And wait till you see the stepmom. She's a hot mess, man. She's not anything that you. I tell you what, you wouldn't think twice about throwing her out of bed for eating crackers.
When I was on FaceTime with her, and she was laying down, and the brother tried to go on top of her, and
You saw that.
yeah,
And
and then
how did she react to that?
I was like, "What the hell are you doing in the room?" You know. Then he got scared and like ran away, and I heard his footsteps like running through the house, you know, because he got caught.
So when you learned of her passing, what was your reaction?
I ran away. He ran away. It was kind of crazy.
And when you learned that she passed away, how did you feel?
I felt very sad, you know, because that was my first love. She was the best that ever happened to me, and I'd even walk to her work to see her, you know, for like 5-10 minutes.
Did you talk with her before her death?
Like 3 weeks before it, yes, ma'am. I was actually supposed to go on the cruise that she went on, but we broke up before then.
When did you split?
We split up like 6 months ago.
6 months. Okay.
And everyone said she's just a bright light. So many people wearing bright colors today. How would you describe the kind of person she was?
She was a great person. She definitely knew how to throw on her outfit. She was great, you know. She knew how to put on colors. It wasn't like a basic outfit.
And this is your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
She's okay with you talking to us?
Yeah, but we need to go.
Okay. I just wanted...
Okay.
What should happen next? What do you think should happen?
Boy's got a good mom, and that boy's got a good dad. Okay? The dad has spoken out saying, yes, we heard about this FaceTime thing. Yes, it was addressed. Kind of took it under advisement and assumption that the family was dealing with it. The kids broke up a few months ago, so ex-boyfriend didn't go on the cruise. But as he is, reiterating, what he saw, what he knew about this crazy ass dynamic, the mom goes, yeah, but we have to go. Okay, that's enough bothering my son with this. He's doing what he needs to do. He's doing more than the people that should have protected her. And I mean all of them. This is going to take a few shows to get through all of them.
We split up like 6 months ago.
6 months. Okay.
And everyone said she's just a bright light. So many people wearing bright colors today. How would you describe the kind of person she was?
She was a great person. She definitely knew how to throw on her outfit. She was great, you know. She knew how to put on colors. It wasn't like a basic outfit.
And this is your mom?
Yes, ma'am.
She's okay with you talking to us?
Yeah, but we need to go.
Okay. Just wanted...
Okay.
What should happen next?
Thank you.
Thank you.
What do you think should happen?
I think that he should get thrown in jail for as long as possible. And yeah.
And when did you move into the house?
I have no idea.
He has more to say about an ex-teenage girlfriend than Don Wells has to say about his own daughter. They're asking him, after the mom says, yeah, but we got to go. It's fine. He's telling you what happened, vouching for her character. And he's saying, I hope he goes to jail for as long as he can be put away for. Then you have old Don Wells, who, of course, is on the front of the mind right now for obvious reasons. Well, I don't want no one to go to jail. This kid probably feels responsible. He probably feels responsible for the breakup, and I agree with Act Right. Had they not broken up, she probably would still be alive because he would have been on that cruise ship, and he hated and currently hates the obsessed stepbrother?
Idea.
Like a year or two?
Maybe like a year ago. I think so. I don't
You'd
know.
like to see justice for
Yeah,
for your
I'd like
first
to
son.
see a lot of justice. Yes.
Has she ever complained about his behavior before?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay. What did she complain about?
She complained about him being uncomfortable, or her being uncomfortable around him, because of the fact that he tried to go on top of her in the bed and tried to go and stay the night at a friend's house and to dodge the staying the night at her.
He tried to get on top of her in the bed. She was having to go to other people's homes to get away from the obsessed stepbrother. By the way, obsessed is not my word. Obsessed is by the many of comments that people are like, I know this family. My daughter went to school with Anna. Oh, I know Timothy. My son went to school with him. This weird relationship and this weird attachment he had with her was not new news. What is the dad and his paramour? Why were they the only ones in the dark? How about the dad that was fighting the stepmom? Get custody of Cuckoo Timothy. What about the mom, which they say couldn't really mom at the time, couldn't really be there for Anna because of her own after failure after failure. They make me sick. Then she's in the middle of the ocean alone with the obsessed stepbrother in a cabin and is stuffed after being stripped of her clothes and bludgeoned and put under a bed. Good God. And they checked the whole boat supposedly except for under her own damn bed. Can't make it up.
Her in the bed, and because of that, she tried to go and stay the night at her friend's house and to dodge the staying the night at her house.
She ever happened more than once?
Yes.
She ever bring that up with her?
It happened one time, around like 3 a.m. that night.
That time when you were on the FaceTime call with
Yes, sir.
friend. Yes. Did she ever report that to her father?
No, I have not. I have reported it to the FBI.
And what is your name, ma'am? Okay, thank you.
Sickening. By the way, if anybody knows where the hype button is on any of the videos, I've been getting a lot of feedback from YouTube that it really helps. Hey, it's their platform, not mine. I'm just passing the info. All right, so obsessed stepbrother has been hospitalized because the whole he's with a third party being watched didn't sit well with me. I was like, I didn't know the FBI let suspects be babysat. But now we have the full story.
Anna Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother, quote, is a suspect in her death on a Carnival cruise ship. That information is not coming from law enforcement. It's coming from the 16-year-old's parents. Those parents were just in court.
If the court isn't aware that apparently this has been...
Okay, Chantel Kepner, I still can't wrap around what the relationship is with Chris. Are they married? Are they dating? They're obviously living together because court documents refer to Chris, who is Anna's father, as her paramour. Someone is just trying to be before Thanksgiving. I don't know. So Timothy, the suspect, the 16-year-old, his dad is in the bottom right corner, and then Chantel is above.
Made national news.
This online court hearing involving a child custody case took place just hours before a memorial service honoring Anna Kepner, who was found dead on a Carnival cruise ship. The teen was joined on that cruise by her father, her stepmother, and at least 2 of her stepmother's children from another marriage, a nearly 9-year-old daughter and 16-year-old son.
Another conflicting news story. Father, stepmother, stepmother's 9-year-old daughter, and 16-year-old son. So we're led to believe that the 14-year-old boy is Anna's biological brother. So she's a teenage boy. Where was the 9-year-old? So they protect the 9-year-old and throw Anna to the wolves? I'm not liking any of this. I've never been on a cruise. Has anybody here ever been on a cruise? And now seeing something like this, somebody dies out at sea. I don't want to be floating around for another 4 or 5 days with somebody that was possibly murdered a couple of flights below me or had a heart attack. No. Plus, I don't like being all cooped in. I just feel like I would feel cooped in. We got stuck on an elevator yesterday morning for about 15 seconds, and I about lost my shit.
Daughter and 16-year-old son. Those 2 children were the subject of this court hearing.
Can I speak?
This is Chantel Kepner, the children's mother and Anna Kepner's stepmother. She's in a child custody dispute with her ex-husband, Thomas Hudson, seated on the right. The former couple says their 16-year-old son, quote, is a suspect in his stepsister's death.
Well, Your Honor, it's our understanding that because the cruise was in international waters, that the young child, not the 9-year-old, but the 16-year-old was allowed to drink.
Okay, Act Right Bitches has been on a cruise. So since you're on international waters, a 16-year-old can hit the bar? Okay, that's what the attorney is saying. Since it's international waters, he was allowed to drink. So now are we doing the old infamous blame it on the alcohol, blame it on the alcohol? Is that what we're doing? It's just Robbie said, I think they're excusing the parents letting the 16-year-old drink or leaving it or saying, no, it's just because of international waters. You know, it's a big old boat. They don't know what's going on. Come on. Come on.
Teenagers were given their own room in which to stay. Just a lot of circumstances that showed that the mother in this case was not exercising appropriate supervision over this child or the other child involved.
Chantel Kepner's attorney disputes that.
There are videotapes on the ship that confirm that there was absolutely no drinking and that and DCF investigated and saw that there was no alcohol in Mom's house whatsoever. So I'm not sure where that's coming from.
There was no resolution to the child custody dispute, which will be handled at a future court hearing. We did learn that 16-year-old stepbrother was taken to the hospital after the cruise for undisclosed reasons. He is now living with a relative on his mom's side of the family as the FBI investigation continues. Mike DeForest, News 6.
Okay, but there's going to be a lot of continuances for the 16-year-old, obviously, because I don't think there's going to be a legitimate or a reason to talk about his custody anymore because, well, right now he's in a hospital for psychiatric treatment, and then he'll be taken into custody once they get him all straightened out. It's just Robbie. Are you new here? I don't believe I've ever seen you before, but that's an awesome avatar. Love it. Love it when we get new peeps around. And all our regular friends. All right, so now we get to Anna's mother. You're going to see a pattern, or at least I do. You may not see the same thing that I see, of excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. But the red flags were mowed down a long time ago. It's nothing but a yard of excuses.
Swanee River when she was, I think, almost three. And she went horseback riding for the first time. And the guy that was walking the horse said that she was acting as if a pro was riding the horse, like she'd been not doing it her whole life. And it was the very first time she'd ever been on a horse.
She must have had a bunch of confidence.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she did. But yeah, she was a really good child. I mean, she never really complained about much. She never cried that much as a baby. And as a teenager, she was the same. She was just always happy anytime I'd see her and talk to her.
These pictures, I know these pictures. I've been looking at them for quite a bit of time now. I'm sure you've been kind of diving into these, kind of remembering when some of these were taken and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I have a lot.
Any of these photos kind of stand out to you, make you remember specific moments or anything like that?
Well, all of them do actually, but let me see, the one with her, I believe, holding it's a baby. It's actually her youngest brother. Youngest brother is my youngest son.
I'm buffering a little bit, so I'm going to let it buffer while I talk to you. So Robbie is new here. Well, welcome, Robbie. We are live every day, every day, Monday through Friday. But I've been kind of out of the loop this week. Act right, bitches. I thought about this too. She said, I pray the other two did not witness this. Well, they witnessed a lot. Because of people on what happened before the cruise ship, then this was just kind of like the culmination. Brandon, who are you? Brooke, stop constantly pausing the video, you mouthy bitch. Who are you, Brandon? Brandon, grab the link. Come on, Brandon. You can be mouthy with me, or you can start your own channel and do it from the road where it buffers.
That weekend, that was the first time she got to see him after I had him, and she didn't want to put him down. She wanted to hold him the whole time she was there.
What an incredible big sister. You know, everyone looks up to your big sister, knowing she was that way from such a young age. These last couple weeks, have you been holding up okay? I know you've been at church. I'm sure we're leaning on faith, and the fellowship there has been super helpful for you.
Yeah, they have been. I'm trying to hold it together.
I can only imagine what you're dealing with. I know church is a big deal for.
Is it possible asking for a friend to get yourself together and be a good parent? I'm not seeing a lot of that for poor Anna. And yes, I think the other siblings, the 9-year-old and the 14-year-old, are victims as well. I don't have a lot of love for the 16-year-old.
For you.
Yeah, they have been. I'm trying to hold it together.
I can only imagine what you're dealing with. I know church is a big deal for everybody. It's like an extended family. So having them with you has to be a great shoulder to lean on.
Yeah, it is.
Is there anything? I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight, but is there anything you think
I'm not busy for the rest of the night.
Anything you think we're skipping over? I really just wanted to kind of highlight Anna and focus on some of your memories and how you've been holding up.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm holding up.
They really need to quit placating this woman, and she's obviously not well. It's almost like when Xana Kernodle's mom was speaking to News Nation, and everyone was like, oh my God, what is wrong with her? By the way, not everyone's a morning person, and I just popped in here and did this. Can we all give Brandon some internet hugs? I think he needs them. Hug away, everyone.
I guess as best as you can. Try not to fall apart. But yeah, no, she was just a great child. She was always happy. She loved. We had her in dance and cheerleading. Well, not cheerleading, but gymnastics and dance since she was, I think, 3. It was when we first put her in that, and she's just loved it ever since. Then she became a cheerleader in high school. And I think she did dance class in high school too, but I'm not positive on that one.
Okay. And the thing that stands out to me on these photos is just, I think every single one that I've clicked through, she's got this massive smile on her face. Was she always trying to make people laugh and everything like that?
Yeah. Yeah, she was. She didn't like it if people were upset. She kind of like takes after me on that one. But yeah, she was always trying to make everybody smile. She was always happy and extremely happy.
Another FaceTime mom. Another FaceTime mom. Come on. Kind of like Crystal Sorey. Well, the last time I FaceTimed my 4-year-old daughter before she was violently murdered by her father, I showed her a little Easter basket and said, the next time I spend time with my daughter that's not via the phone screen, I'm going to give you your Easter basket. Good God. Our new friend, it's just Robbie. The stepbrother is no match for the feds. I'm sure they will get the details on this one. Didn't take him too long. He spilled his guts ASAP. And now we're playing crazy.
I don't think she was ever really upset or depressed anytime I'd seen her.
She found the joy in everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Well,
even when she'd make her post, if her boyfriend would break up or whatever, she still had to look at it. She always looked at it as the bright side, on the brighter side of it.
So she probably found the good in everybody and everything.
Yeah. Yeah, she did.
Sad. It's just Robbie. Yes, you would have to rewind a little bit, but yeah, he is they've got him in a psych center. I'm not sure where. I'm going to assume somewhere in Florida. Yeah, they said at first he was with a third party, like a friend of his mom's, and I'm like, what? Because they're ready to arrest him. Then you find out that he is seeking psychiatric treatment. Well, you know what? Instead of taking everybody on a cruise in the middle of November, you could have put that money towards getting obsessed stepbrother well before putting the whole family in jeopardy on the middle of the ocean, and especially Anna, who was his target. All right, so I'm sure the mom is sad. I'm sure she's not liking this, but you know, I'm also pretty sure she's going to have a GoFundMe in a few days. I hope I'm wrong. I've been wrong before, and it really doesn't hurt. But I have a feeling in this case, we're going to see some fundraising soon. And the first person I'm going to tell about it is just me, Susan. All right, one more we're going to talk about, and then we will continue this conversation Monday or Tuesday. So make sure you are subbed up and you have hit your reminders.
There are new developments in the death of a Florida teenager aboard a Carnival cruise ship. According to a new court filing, the FBI may be looking at one of her step-siblings in connection with the investigation. NBC's Jessica Kirsch joins us now from Port Miami. Jessica, good morning.
Craig, good morning. When that Carnival cruise ship returned to this port, the FBI responded to the scene. But nearly 2 weeks later, the Miami-Dade medical examiner still isn't
I'm back. It looks like everybody's up and at it around here, and everybody's logging on, so it's going to be hard. Oh, there it is.
Good morning.
Craig, good morning. When the Carnival cruise returned to this port, the FBI responded to the scene. But nearly 2 weeks later, the Miami-Dade medical examiner still has not announced Anna Kepner's cause of death. Meanwhile, new details are potentially emerging. This morning, mystery deepening around the tragic death of a teenager aboard a cruise ship. 18-year-old Anna Kepner died on the Carnival Horizon ship earlier this month, the case gaining national attention. And now a document tied to some of Kepner's family coming to light. NBC News has obtained a filing from this week by an attorney for the teen's stepmother, Chantel Hudson, in an ongoing unrelated case about Hudson's past marriage. The attorney writing, an extremely sensitive and severe circumstance has arisen, saying that Hudson and children were on discussions with FBI investigators and her attorneys that a criminal case may be initiated against one of her minor children. A former police chief for the Miami PD, investigators are likely going through the ship's surveillance cameras, looking for evidence and to help build a timeline of the possible crime.
They're going to be able to isolate the image of this young lady and run that against all their video streams to see where she was and when and who. So that's a lot to unpack.
CBS News reports that Kepner's body was found under her bed in her stateroom, according to multiple law enforcement sources. NBC News has reached out to the FBI on the report. The FBI says it's not commenting about an ongoing investigation. Meanwhile, Kepner remembered this morning the high school senior from Central Florida, described in her obituary as a bright and beautiful soul. We have reached out to an attorney for Kepner's stepmother as well as the teen's father, but we have not heard back from either party. As for the Carnival Horizon ship, the cruise line tells us in part, quote, the FBI has advised that there is no related threat to safety aboard as it sails its current voyage.
Oh, yeah. They're going to go on their next voyage. They're going to clean the room, get new blankets, get a new mattress. Yeah, that's it. Just wait. Just wait for the lawsuits against Carnival Cruise. Attorneys are very, very inventive when it comes to their 40%. Mark my words. The mama of Anna, who is super pissed that she had to find out about this on the internet and has her own problems. There she is. If I get up, let's see. Hit or miss around here. Hit or miss. She's probably going to have a GoFundMe. There she is. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack, as the cool kids say. This is insane. The least of our worries is if there is any related threat to the next voyage on Carnival Cruise. I want to know what in the hell all the adults in Anna's family were doing. You can't tell me that they did not realize there was an issue between obsessed stepbrother and Anna. All right, you guys, we're getting ready to get down the road. I will see you over in Discord or one of the Facebook groups. And remember, we'll be back. Probably a show this weekend, but for sure Monday morning. You guys have a great TGIF. Me, love ya.